In this video, we're going to be covering a wage projection worksheet together on screen that I've put together for you guys using Microsoft Excel. You can download it for free, and the worksheet is designed to help you project your wages for the year so that when you go online on the IRS website to fill out the W-4 calculator, you're going to have the most accurate information as possible so that you can calculate your potential tax as accurately as possible. Welcome back to Money and Life TV, guys. It is so good to see all of you once again. As you know, I am Mike, the CPA. This is my sidekick, Chipper.
Orders, Captain?
How have you guys been? It is so good to see all of you. With 2018 came a lot of tax changes, and especially with income tax brackets. As you guys know, if you've seen one of my previous videos, the average income tax bracket rate has fallen by 3%. So what that means for you and I is if we make our earning through wages, which roughly 90% of Americans make their living as employees, then we need to know as accurately as we possibly can what amount of tax we need to withhold each and every paycheck so that we don't end up owing a ton of money at the end of the year. And so that's what this worksheet is designed to do. I've created this worksheet initially, I'll be honest with you, for myself, for selfish reasons. I'm sorry. But once I put it together, I'm like, I gotta share this with you guys because I think you guys will find this extremely helpful. So with that being said, let's just dive right into it. Okay guys, the way this is gonna work is I'm gonna go over this spreadsheet with you of how this spreadsheet works, and then in a follow-up video to this, I'm gonna show you actually how to apply it on the IRS website using the 2018 W-4 calculator that the IRS just released about a week or two ago. I can tell you from experience that one of the most complicated forms is the W-4 form, which is unfortunate because I really wish they didn't make it so freaking complicated. But before we go to the IRS website and actually drop in numbers, we want to make sure we're taking a professional approach. And I have found to take a professional approach to doing this and to get the most accurate results possible, I found I have to do a little bit of tax planning up front, right? I have to make make sure my numbers are correct before I go input them on the IRS website on that W-4 calculator and it spits out a result. So that's why I created this worksheet. And so as I go over this, guys, I know there's a lot of lines, a lot of colors, but don't worry, I'm gonna go over it with you here on screen, step by step. And if you need to pause the video at any point, just feel free to pause the video. If you have questions, you can ask me questions. I pretty much respond to every person on YouTube who asks me a question. I've responded to 95% or more of the comments I get. So feel free to drop a question if there's anything you don't understand. Okay, so this is the wage projection worksheet that I wanted to put together for you guys and for myself. This worksheet is gonna help you project and estimate your total wages for the year. Okay, so it's not foolproof. Nothing, not even the W-4 calculator is foolproof. But because your wages and earnings and expenses is a moving target every single year. Every single year my income has changed, whether it's up or down, my expenses changed. And so it's always a moving target. But by doing some basic tax planning, you can get more accurate results so that when the end of the year rolls around, you're not going to owe a bunch of money. At least that's the goal. And so that's the goal for me. I don't want to end up owing a bunch of money at the end of the year when I didn't expect to have to pay the IRS or the state income tax agencies, etc., depending on what state you live in. So this first projection I've put down here is projection per payroll. So the second tab down here is the year-to-date projections. And that's if it's not the beginning of the year, but let's say we're in April or May and you have a pay stub. Well, then you can just drop in your year-to-date earnings and it'll calculate and estimate out the rest of the income you'll make throughout the rest of the year. Okay, here we go. Let's start with projections per payroll. Starting with line 1, guys, let's assume our taxpayer makes $3,000 a month. He gets paid twice a month, so that means his gross wages per paycheck is $1,500. So because, $1,500 times 2 is obviously $3,000. So we're gonna start here, and this is, line 1 says gross wages salary per check or best estimate. So we're gonna put in $1,500 here, because that's the gross amount of wages per check that they get. And then, now let's say they're an investor. They're saving for their retirement. Let's say they're saving 15% of their income, of their monthly income. They're deferring it to their 401k. So 15% is $450 per month, right? But it's per paycheck, and they get paid twice a month. So we're gonna take that and divide it by 2. So they're contributing in this example to their 401k per paycheck is $225 per paycheck. Just like most people who earn a living through wages, myself included, every paycheck taxes is taken out. It's called federal income taxes withheld. I know you guys know what I'm talking about if you're watching this video. I'm referring to line 3 here. So per paycheck, this taxpayer is having $150 taken out of his check for federal income taxes. So we put that in here. We know this taxpayer gets paid twice every month. So we know that they have 26 payrolls. 26 times during the year they get paid. Yours might be different than that. So if you had like 12, if you get paid once a month, you just put 12 here because 12, one paycheck per month. But in this example, this guy gets paid every 2 weeks, so we're putting 26 pay periods. Based on this data, guys, this person's going to be making a total of $39,000 in gross wages for the year, and it's going to subtract out their 401k contributions of the year of totaling $5,850. And $5,850, if we divide it out, let's check our math, is exactly 15% of the $3,000 that we initially discussed. So this person has that amount taken out. Then down here, we see that it says projected taxable wages. So notice this says gross wages. Well, if you have 401k contributions coming out of your income, then it's going to reduce your taxable income because that tax is deferred until a later period of when you actually retire. So you don't have to pay tax on that money right now. In terms of taxable wages, this person has made $33,150 that they're going to have to pay income tax on. And what about those withholdings? Remember they were withholding $150 per paycheck? Well, right here, those total withholdings add up to $3,900 for the year. Now, what if you get a bonus? What if there's something that's outside of your normal salary? Don't worry, I've made a spot for that as well. So below this projection, if you were to get a bonus of some kind, let's say this taxpayer got a $2,000 bonus towards the end of the year, well then we would just put in $2,000 right here. And now his total taxable wages, everything included, wages including the bonus, their taxable income would be $35,150. And if there's extra withholdings on that bonus, we're going to put them here. Let's say they withheld $500. We're going to add that there. And now you can see the spreadsheet updates in this column right here. All right, so for this first part, I hope that made sense for you guys. So all you really need, guys, to do this is your most current pay stub, okay? And you're going to take that gross amount of wages or salary per paycheck. You're going to drop that number in right here. If you're putting away money in your 401k per paycheck, whatever that amount is that they take out per check, make sure to put that right there. If they're, whatever amount they're withholding per check, put it right here. Think about how many times you're going to be getting paid throughout the rest of the year or for the entire year and drop that number in, and the spreadsheet will calculate the rest. So all you really need to do this, to fill out this worksheet for yourself, is your pay stub. Now that is the first way we can run this analysis. So as you're looking at your paycheck, make sure you're dropping your numbers in correctly. And so just double check your math, check your math with a calculator. I don't think I have any errors in this, but if I do, let me know, please, and I'll make sure to fix it and correct it and re-upload an updated spreadsheet. Now let's look at the second way we can run the same analysis. Okay, now we're looking at the wage projection per spouse year-to-date projection analysis. So same taxpayer, okay, except we're just going to run the numbers in a little bit of a different way. So let's pretend it's not the start of the year, but let's pretend that this person, by the time he's thinking about trying to calculate his projected wages for the year, let's say they've already gotten 6 paychecks. Now, there's the yellow spots, there's still where you have to drop in inputs, which I've already dropped them in here already ahead of time. But you may have to make sure that you need to drop in your total number of pay periods for the whole year. And be certain to get this to work, you have to make sure you've dropped in however many remaining payroll periods you expect to receive throughout the year. So if this person, we know in the previous example, they needed they're going to get 26 paychecks throughout the year. We're assuming in this example that they've already received 6 paychecks because they're like in the month of March, okay? And so we know they have 20 paychecks left to get. So having these numbers correct is key. So just be certain before you start dropping in your numbers that the correct number of payroll periods is entered right here. That is very important. Okay, 6 pay periods in, this same taxpayer now, he's looking at his pay stub. He's not looking in the current pay period column now. Now he's looking in the year-to-date column on his paycheck, on his pay stub. So on year-to-date, it's in March. He's on like March 31st, let's say, and he's already made $9,000 of gross wages year-to-date. So he's going to drop in $9,000 here, and he's already paid in $1,350 to his 401k. If you remember, he was putting in $225 per paycheck to his 401k. So if we take $225 times 6 pay periods, that's where the $1,350 is coming from. And we also remember in the last example, he had $150 withheld per paycheck. But since he's 6 pay periods in, that's going to be $900. With 6 pay periods times 150 per pay period, he's sitting at $900 here. Okay, so we've got those data points entered. Okay, now we know there's 26 pay periods in the year. We know there's only 20 pay periods or paychecks he's going to get left. Okay, we've got these inputs all input here now. Let's see how this all calculates out. The software, this spreadsheet I've designed for you, is going to fill out the rest of it for you. So it knows, based on where this person's at in the month of March, let's assume, after 6 pay periods, that they're going to end up making $39,000 for the year. You can see the Excel formula up here. I kind of had fun making that formula, but it's taking all these factors in consideration and projecting it out for the year. There's his total 401k contributions for the year, and we know, and if you look back at these numbers, guys, let's go back to the first tab. They're exactly the same. Look at $33,150, $33,150, $3,900 of withholdings, $3,900 of withholdings. So this is just a different way to analyze this. This is if you've already gotten several paychecks and you're going to project out your income for the rest of the year. So you can just do it this way. And then he's got his bonus. So at the end of the day, it knows he's right in the same spot if you analyze it this way. So either if you analyze it per paycheck or based on your year-to-date wages earned and year-to-date taxes earned, either way it's going to project out your earnings the same. So that's a good thing, because that means the math in the spreadsheet's correct. That means the formulas in the spreadsheet are working correctly. If it comes out different, then we got a problem. But that's how you basically run through this analysis, guys, is you can do it per paycheck, or you can do it based on what your pay stub says you've earned year to date. So you can look at it either way. It doesn't matter. Whichever way makes the most sense to you and the way you feel comfortable with is the way I would recommend doing. Now, I personally I'm comfortable with doing it year to date, projecting my year to date wages based on where I'm currently at with my pay stub. I'm looking at it each week, or every 2 weeks, because I get paid every 2 weeks, which is kind of the reason I use 26 weeks in this example. But like I said, if you get paid differently, if you get paid once a month, then it's going to change these numbers here. So just make sure to update this. So let's say you got paid 12 pay periods in a year, and let's say there was only 9 pay periods left. Well, then you would just put 9 in here. There you go. But I think you guys get the idea. Play with the spreadsheet. Use it if you find it helpful. It really helps me to project my wages ahead of time before I go on that IRS website. And all of this is to ensure when you're filling out your W-4, whether it's on paper or on the IRS website, that you have the most accurate data possible. And that's why it's wise, in my opinion, to do this first before trying to fill all that stuff out. How many people do this level of tax planning? Very few. As you guys know, I'm a CPA in real life, so doing this is important for me because I want to try to be as accurate as possible on my taxes so that I don't have to give the government more money than they actually need. Oh, and also so that I don't owe the government a lot of money in the end if I didn't forecast my taxes correctly. All right, guys, so I hope you find that information helpful. If there's any part of the spreadsheet you would like me to explain in further detail, please let me know. Just remember, on either tab, whether it's the per payroll period tab or the year-to-date projection tab, you can unhide these columns if you have multiple jobs, and then you can do the same process for your spouse. If your spouse has wages, or if if they have stuff going into their 401k, and if they have different pay periods than you can drop those numbers in here. So all of it is available to you. So I'll make sure this is a downloadable link in the description section below this video. And I'm also putting this particular template on my website, moneyandlifetv.com. So make sure to check it out. As you guys can see, I spent a lot of time making this spreadsheet, but I really hope you do find it helpful. If I can make it better, just let me know, guys. Just let me know. I'm happy to update it to whatever will help you guys. If you guys like the video, let me know by hitting the like button down below. Be sure to share this information with a friend. Feel free to share this video and this spreadsheet with friends and family members to help them get a better grip on their taxes. Now, this thing's not foolproof, okay? This is not foolproof. You have to, if you really want to come out well on your taxes and know where you're gonna stand at the end of the year, then you kind of have to do some basic tax planning throughout the year. It's not a one-time thing, but this will help you get a more accurate number when you're doing your W-4 and so forth. Now, in the next video, I'm going to be covering these examples, and I'm going to show you how to input them on the IRS website using this same example. We're going to do the full swing here. You're going to see the full picture. on the IRS website of how we would go about inputting this, and so you guys can understand how this all works, and then take that example and with your specific tax situation and apply it to your own life so that you can have a better tax result and just be better off financially, right? Because that's really the main goal of this channel, is to help people be better off financially. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I will see you in the next video. Live life uncaged.